Block 1. Unlocking Seneca's ancient secret, the fear rehearsal technique. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving headfirst into a topic that, let's be honest, touches every single one of us: anxiety about the future. Our minds are incredible prediction machines, but they have a serious negative bias. They're constantly running what-if scenarios, and more often than not, these scenarios spiral into the worst possible outcomes. What if I fail the presentation? What if I get that dreaded phone call from the doctor? What if this relationship falls apart? This constant low-grade hum of dread can be exhausting, paralyzing, and it robs us of our ability to enjoy the present moment. But what if the secret to conquering this anxiety wasn't to distract ourselves, to chant positive affirmations, or to simply avoid these thoughts? What if the path to mental resilience was to deliberately and strategically lean directly into them? This is precisely the radical prescription offered by the ancient Stoic philosopher Seneca. He wasn't just an abstract thinker. He was a Roman statesman, a playwright, and one of the most influential figures of his time, advising the Emperor Nero. He knew a thing or two about high-stakes environments and the pressures of uncertainty. His powerful yet deeply counterintuitive technique is known as premeditatio malorum, which translates to the premeditation of evils. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Premeditate evils? Why on earth would I want to invite more negativity into my life? It sounds like a recipe for depression, a direct flight to pessimism. But that's a fundamental misunderstanding of this brilliant psychological tool. This isn't about being a pessimist, it's about being a mental strategist. It is a controlled, deliberate exercise designed to bulletproof your mind against the inevitable shocks of life. Think of it like a vaccine for your psyche. A vaccine introduces a tiny, harmless dose of a virus into your system, not to make you sick, but to train your immune system to recognize and fight the real thing. Similarly, premeditatio malorum introduces a controlled, imagined dose of adversity to your mind. By intentionally and vividly visualizing the worst possible outcomes, losing your job, facing a sudden illness, enduring public humiliation, you are training your mind to handle the emotional and psychological impact in a safe, controlled environment. You are, in essence, conducting a fire drill for your life. You don't run fire drills because you want the building to burn down. You run them so that if it ever does, you don't panic, you know the exits, you know the procedure, and you can act rationally instead of being consumed by fear. This mental rehearsal achieves several profound benefits. Firstly, as Seneca pointed out, what is quite unlooked for is more crushing in its effect, and unexpectedness adds to the weight of a disaster. It diminishes the element of surprise. The shock of a negative event is often more debilitating than the event itself. It's the suddenness that knocks us off our feet. By having already visited that scenario in your mind, you strip it of its power to shock and paralyze you. Should the feared event actually occur, a part of your brain will say, "I've been here before. I've thought this through. I know what to do." This allows you to move from a state of emotional reaction to one of logical problem solving much more quickly. Secondly, and perhaps most importantly, this practice forces you to confront the reality of your own resilience. When you allow your fears to fester in the dark corners of your imagination, they grow into vague, monstrous shapes. They seem insurmountable. But when you drag them into the light of conscious thought and examine them, you often realize one of two things. Either the feared scenario isn't nearly as catastrophic as your anxiety-fueled imagination made it out to be, or, more empowering still, you discover that you possess the inner resources to cope. You start asking practical questions. If I lost my job, what are the steps I would take? I'd update my resume, call my contacts, cut my budget. If I faced public embarrassment, how would I recover? I'd lean on my friends, remind myself of my worth, and understand that life goes on. You move from a place of helpless victimhood to active agency. It's about rehearsing adversity in the safety of your mind, stripping it of its power, and in doing so, cultivating a profound sense of freedom and tranquility in the present. It is our generation that must start this dialogue. What's one fear you're willing to rehearse? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe for more ancient wisdom, and we'll see you in the next one.